Good day, viewers of Public Access. My name is Dave McWilliams. I'm the host of today's show, and we got a quite exciting show today. We got two gentlemen. One is the Vermont State Good Sam's Club president, and we have the other one, which is Champlain Valley Roadrunners president, and we're going to be talking about camping in Vermont and what it's really like, and give you an outline of what Good Sam does for different organizations and how we help by doing fundraisers and stuff like that. So to my left is Mr. Paul Young. He is a Good Sam's director.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and thank you for coming. And Jim McMillan, who is the chapter president for Champlain Valley Roadrunners. I always keep on putting in Lake Champlain. But they've been around for quite a while, and we're going to be talking about different things that are questions, and maybe they'll add to it as we go along. What is the Good Sam's Club, Paul?
Well, that's a good question. Good Sam Club is a national organization that's all around the United States, in every state as well as in Canada. They offer a lot of different things such as discounts on camping, insurance, travel assistance, and all that kind of stuff. And then here in the state of Vermont, we have what we call chapters that people can join, and it's a camping club or group that get together once a month or once, every other month, however the president wants to do it, and has camping activities and all kinds of fun stuff to do while you're camping and meeting new friends and stuff like that. The other thing that we try to do is we try to do like Good Samaritans, Good Sam, is that we do a lot of community service projects such as cooking for Ronald McDonald's house, or raising money for, what have you, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really good organization to join.
And you also do different fundraisers for many different organizations in Vermont.
Correct. We've
like
done
the Hope Lodge,
We've done a lot for Hope Lodge. We've done a lot for local food shelves. We have food drives a couple times a year. In fact, at our state rally, we're going to have a food drive for a local food shelter. So, yes. And the great part about it is we always seem to have a good time doing it. And you sort of build a family or a community within the organization.
How did they come up with the name Good Sam's Club?
That's a good question. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know. I know it was set out to be a group of campers helping other campers as a Good Samaritan type thing. So I'm sure that's how it built off of that.
Yeah. Now, when Good Sam's started, and people started camping, they let anybody that, whether they had a tent, whether they had a motor coach, whether they had a fifth wheel or a Class A. Why is that?
Because it's a camping community, and we don't hold back. And if you enjoy camping and want to help the community and stuff like that, we want you to be a part of our organization.
One thing about the Good Sam's Club is that, they welcome everybody, young and old, like us. And so I think that's one of the good things, because until people actually go out on a camping trip, with any club like ours is the Champlain Valley Roadrunners, they don't know what it's like and the fun that they can have.
Exactly.
Yep.
So why are there, where are the currently Good Sam chapters in Vermont?
Right now we have 5 chapters in the state of Vermont. We have one here in the Chittenden County, Franklin County area, which is the Champlain Valley Roadrunners. We have Mid-State Sams and Instigators, which is more central Vermont in the Randolph, White River area. Then we have the Rolling Wheels, which is the southern eastern part of Vermont, the Chester, Brattleboro, in that area. And then we have the Green Mountain Travelers, which is the southern western part around the Bennington area.
Yep.
I do want to say that we are constantly looking to build new chapters. I'd love to get a chapter in the Middlebury area as well as the Newport, up in the
Newport area.
Newport area. because those are the places we're lacking. And I have a lot of people wanting to get involved in chapters, but they don't necessarily want to start the chapter.
Yeah. Does Vermont Good Sam's Club have a website?
We do have a website. It's vermontgoodsam.com, which has all kinds of information, contact information, has a lot of stuff regarding our Up and Coming Rally, which I'll get into later, as well as people can get a hold of me via email at vermontgoodsam@gmail.com. Anytime with any questions, and I love to chat to people and get them involved.
A lot of people don't realize that you became a director this year, and that you're the new kid on the block.
I am the new kid on the block, yes. I started in January. We have made quite a bit of changes in the way our thinking is and our thought process. We are here to build chapters and help every chapter succeed and in whatever they want to, whatever their mission may be. Whether it's helping out at campouts and stuff like that.
Now, a lot of people don't realize that you were president of a chapter before you became director.
I was president of the Champlain Valley Roadrunners for 4 years before I became director. The best 4 years I had, made some great friends, some lasting friends, and that's really what it's about. I mean, the Champlain Valley Roadrunners, as Jim will speak to, is a growing community of campers and Good Samaritans. Yeah.
I think a lot of people that belong to the Good Sam's Club and the different chapters, if they try it once, they'll go back for seconds.
I am a firm believer of that too, and that's actually how. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Nope.
I'm going to get on to him, but I'm going to give you a rest.
One of the things that I did when I was president is build our chapter up. We had 20 members back then, and now we're up over 50 camping rigs within our chapter. And the way we did that was having the memberships, going to campouts, and people seeing the group have a good time together, invited them over and join, and then the next thing you know, they're paying their dues and joining the family.
Yeah. Well, I'll get on to Jim and give you a little rest. Then we'll come back to you at a different time. Jim, tell us your title, and how long you've been camping, and talk about Champlain Valley Roadrunners.
Okay. My title is I'm the president of the current chapter, the Champlain Valley Roadrunners. As Paul said, I took over in January when he became the state director. Prior to that, I was the vice president, worked under Paul, and Paul was my mentor, I think, eyeing me as following in his footsteps when he took over the directorship. The Champlain Valley Roadrunners, I think, just to add to what Paul said quickly, is that we're more than just a close-knit community, but in a lot of ways we're just an extended family. We're always there for each other whenever anybody needs anything, whether it be a problem with a broken part in their camper or a new camper that they can't figure out how to use something with it. There's always somebody with a little bit of expertise that will help out. Personally, I started my camping probably about 40 years ago. We started, my wife and I, with our 2 children, started camping in a tent, and then over time progressed to a pop-up and then to a tow-behind travel trailer. We love the outdoors, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are attracted to both Good Sam and to the Champlain Valley Roadrunners. Is we're out in the community, we like to be out, we like to have a good time. A lot of times we grow our membership based on someone who is at a campground where we're having a weekend camp out, and they stop over or they'll grab one of our members aside and say, "Hey, what's the group that you're with? You seem to be having a really good time." And we'll go over and talk to them, either the president or one of the officers will go and talk with them a little bit. And then we'll invite them to come to a camp out, to come to one of our campfires during that camp out if they'd like, but also to come to a full weekend camp out that we may have and experience all the activities that we do, and then see whether or not they think that they might be a good fit for us. And more often than not, people do, because we do, as Paul said, we do a lot of community service, primarily in the winter months, but we do some in the summer months also. So we work hard, we give back a lot to the community, but when we're camping, we like to relax, kick up our heels a little bit, and I think that's why a lot of people go camping, is because you're away from the cell phones, you're away from the computers, and you're just out in nature. And so you get to really unwind, relax, kick your heels back. And that's one of the big drawing points, I think, for us when we first started camping was to be able to do that and do it with people of like interest. And so we're all the same.
Would you talk about, I guess in the last couple of years we got some awards, from a Good Sam?
Yes, we have. The last 3 years, the Champlain Valley Roadrunners have been selected as the Northeast Regional Chapter of the Year. Every year, Good Sam identifies a national chapter, and then also each region of the United States will select, will have a chapter selected as the chapter of the year. And that's based upon the types of things you do during the course of the year to show that you really are Good Samaritans and that you are an organization that welcomes everybody in and also gives back to the community for everything that they've given to our organizations over the years. So that happened entirely under Paul's reign. The first year that he was president was our initial building year and sort of the time to start building the organization a little bit. And then the next 3 years of his presidency were the 3 years that we've been selected as regional for all of the Eastern region, which includes New England and over into New York. And I believe we might even drop south a little bit.
New England, New York, and 3 provinces in Canada.
Okay, yeah.
Makes up our region.
So we have, and to go back to just what we've already talked about a little bit, part of the reason why we've won these awards is for all the places like Hope Lodge, Ronald McDonald House. Today, a group
Green
of
Up
us.
Day, because
Green Up Day. You and your wife have been a mainstay for Green Up Day with us. Today, there were four of our club members who were at the Shelburne Museum for the day, helping them do planting and gardening type work, laying mulch, weeding the flower gardens and stuff. We also make work with Lucy's House, which is a nonprofit organization that makes toys, pull toys and chew toys for dogs and cats for your pets. And so we do things like that. We can do things like that during campouts.
Could you also talk about where you've been camping so far this year, even though in between the raindrops?
Sure. Yeah. Well, actually, just as far as the raindrops, I think camping is a lot like golf is. It doesn't rain in a campground, just like it doesn't rain on the golf course. We get an awful lot of liquid sunshine, and this year we've had probably more than our share of it, but it's never dampened our spirits. But we try and, for the most part, do our camping relatively local, just because we still do have a number of members who work, and we don't want to exclude them from a lot of activities, so we'll try and schedule campsites that are within a couple of hours drive, so that if someone has to work on a Friday, they can still get to the campground by supper time or early evening to enjoy the Friday evening campfire and then activities for the weekends. But this year we've camped over in Morrisville, we've been down in Randolph, we've actually camped at the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds once this year, and that was sort of to give all of the state chapter presidents and their members, anybody who was interested, a chance to come and camp at the fairgrounds to see what the rally would be like. Because this year the rally is going to be at a new location, the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds, and so change is always different for people, and so this gave all the chapters a chance to see what they would have at their disposal if they were there. We're also slated this year to be going over to New York, over to Chateauguay for a camp out. We were trying to coordinate a main camp out, but it looks like times when our schedules were open and the times when the campgrounds were able to accommodate us were just didn't come into sync this year. But we have been to Maine in the past.
And I think the other thing you just got to add that people need to realize is that because the Champlain Valley Roadrunners is such a large group, when we go to a campground, we're looking for 20 to 25 sites fairly close to each other. And a lot of campgrounds, especially in July and August, have a hard time accommodating that. Hence why we do a lot of our planning in, January and February.
Right. Yeah.
Now, when you go camping, what do you do there? Just sit around and talk gossip, or do you do games, or what do you do?
They do plenty of that too.
No, we actually, part of the chapter and the club organization is set up with a hierarchy of officers, and one of the officers is actually what we call a wagon master. And what a wagon master does is they're sort of like our social coordinator. They're the one that is responsible for finding campgrounds that can accommodate us, making all the arrangements to reserve the sites for us. And she always puts together an agenda. We don't, one thing I will say is we don't force anybody to participate in any activities. All our activities are open to all members that are at a camp out. And actually we even open them to anybody else that's at the campground most of the time that comes over and wants to participate. But we do things like we'll play beanbag baseball, we do potty toss. A lot of times a group will get together and play cards. Probably just about every day there's a card game going on somewhere.
Yeah, what was that?
Never a betting
Hearts,
game, but Hearts Leads. Yes,
Yep.
that's a big card game. Let's see, we also will go on, depending upon the campgrounds, like this past weekend, a group of us went on a nature hike. There were a number of trails through the woods. So we spend about an hour and a half hiking through the woods. Generally we'll have, in addition to games, one evening we'll generally have a potluck supper, or it may be one of our members likes to smoke different foods, and so generally once or twice a year he'll bring his smoker with him to camp out and smoke a turkey or smoke a beef, and
I'm glad you
we'll
said
have
smoke
that.
meat. I didn't think you were going to smoke marijuana.
No, we don't do any smoking of marijuana at our
No.
campouts, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the things. And then we always, again, to throw back to Paul's innovative thinking, one of the things that we do is at the end of every camp out on Sunday morning, prior to leaving, the president always has a coffee hour. And that's just like a drop in to say goodbye to everybody and say we'll see you in a couple of weeks at the next camp out, but with coffee and Danish and muffins and things. Just one last chance to socialize, but that always occurs on the Sunday morning at the end of the camping.
I notice, because I am a member in public, I am a member of the Lake Champlain Roadrunners.
Champlain Valley Roadrunners.
Yeah, Champlain Valley Roadrunners. Here I'm saying Lake Champlain. I've been a member for about 5 years, I think it is. My brother-in-law, Dwayne, got me into it, and I decided I wanted to get a camper, so I ended up getting a camper. So, it's been an enjoyment, the Roadrunners basically accept anybody who wants to become a camper.
Exactly.
And
yes.
everybody
Our
helps
doors are
each
open.
other. This weekend, my brother-in-law's Class C had a battery problem. He brought part of the bracket off, so he couldn't start his camper. So, and it's about 5 of us down there, trying to help him. We found out what he did is he twisted the terminal and broke it. So we were able to get him going to get him back to St. Albans. So a lot of what I like is that everybody helps each other, and that's the most important thing. I can remember when I first had my first fifth wheel, and I backed in there. I couldn't back that thing straight if I was sober. But with the members, they gave me a lot of pointers, along with my son who drives tractor trailer truck, gave me some pointers, because the first time I backed into my driveway, I was ready to sell it the same day. So everybody helps each other, and I think that's the most important thing, that everybody has got wisdom on certain things on their camper that might help them out as far as why is the hot water heater not working, and stuff like that. It could be fuses and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a wealth of knowledge out there between everybody that's at any one of the campouts. There's a wealth of knowledge. Nobody knows everything, and it's like any other, whether you buy a car or a truck or whatever. A camper they're so advanced now in the technology in them that a lot of times you don't get a good rundown when you buy a camper of everything that you need to know. It's a learn as you go, and you'll always find someone that if you can't get your slide out, or if your battery is draining too fast, or any little thing, you can't get it hitched up just right or level just right. Someone always has that little bit of knowledge, and we're just a big, as I said, we're a big family. We always help out.
But on that same note, I just want to share a story. Back when I was president of the Champlain Valley Roadrunners, we used to work at a camping show to draw in new members. And I'm at this camping show at Essex, and this guy comes up to me and starts talking, and I started talking about Good Sam and why you should join a chapter, and he says, this is my first camper I ever owned. Most people go small when they buy their first camper. He has a 38-foot Class A motorhome. And he's like, I know nothing about it. I said, well, if you join our chapter, you're going to have 40 other people that probably know something about your motorhome that can teach you. And he joined our chapter, and to this day, he's probably one of our more active members. So that's what it's all about, and that's the reason he joined. But now he's building friendships, and actually him and I are really good friends now. And
yeah. Paul,
yes.
Let's talk a little bit about Good Sam's. And do they have scholarships for students?
We do. Every year we offer a $500 scholarship for a second semester student. Does not have to be part of our organization, just has to have somebody that's involved in our organization. Those are due in July 1st. Actually, I got 3 or 4 of them sitting on my desk at home right now. And then at the rally this year in August, we're going to announce the winner of that $500 scholarship.
Yeah. Could you also talk about the chapters? They have to belong to the Good Sam?
Yes, good point. In order to belong to a chapter, you have to belong to the Good Sam, what I call national, which is a very easy process. You can go online. It's a $25 yearly fee for that. And then you just fill out your application, and you get a Good Sam number, which is what we need to enroll you into a chapter. But it's about a 5-minute process.
And that ain't a bad, membership, $25.
And for that $25, keep in mind, number one, you get to meet a lot of different people within the state, as well as you get the 25% off any Good Sam park that you go to. You get X amount of, I forget what the percentage is off, some fueling spots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Plus you get the knowledge of them helping you out. If you need help, you can always call them and ask any questions, and they're there to help you.
Yeah. And in order for somebody out there who wants to join our chapter, could you give them our email address, and could you talk about what it costs to join the chapter of Roadrunners?
Certainly. If anybody that's interested can get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to send them an application. My email address is gingerix, that's GINGERIX, @surfglobal.net. And I'll get you out a copy of our application, and also a short biography of our club, what we've done in the past, and what we like to do. From that point, our dues are currently $20 a year, and that's per rig, per motorhome, or per camper that you have. So
or per family.
Or per family. It's the $20 goes for the entire family. It's not a $20 per person. So for every family, it's a $20 fee, and that's once a year, like the Good Sam is. So it's and that entitles you to all the benefits. And one of the things that Paul didn't mention that also, as being a Good Sam member, another year, if you are a camper or just an outdoor enthusiast, there are Camping World stores, which is a national camping chain, and by being a Good Sam member, you also get, I believe it's a 10% discount on any purchases you make there. So that's an added plus too.
So,
And they also sell campers and all your camping supplies.
so what does the chapters do in the wintertime? You know,
Okay, yeah, we're not a seasonal organization, as you know. We exist year-round, and some of the things that we do is we maintain at least, well, in the summertime we always have at least one camp out weekend a month. We try and do two, but at least we schedule one. In the winter months, we still get together once a month, and generally it's always on the second Sunday of the month. And as a group, we have a brunch together. We find a place that has, ideally, either a separate room or an area that they can give us where we can all eat together. And we still hold our organization's monthly meeting during that time. During the winter months is really when we do the main thrust of our community service activities. We try and at least once or twice cook a meal at either Hope Lodge or Ronald McDonald House. In the winter months, I generally run in the Santa Run, which is a benefit run for Camp Tecumseh. We also will do, like when it gets into springtime, Vermont Cleanup Day. A number of our members get out and share in the cleanups. We'll generally also, as a group, we'll have a Christmas dinner, a Christmas party. So we do a lot of activities, and we're always looking for new ideas. Like I mentioned, we were at the Shelburne Museum today, and that was just on a fluke that somebody happened to mention, well, they really need a lot of volunteers to help out in a lot of areas. So we're always looking for new charitable activities during the winter months that we can do. But we try and do some activity each month, plus have a monthly meeting, so that we still have those ties year-round.
well, one of the things, we're getting down to the end of our show, and I'd like to have Paul talk about the State Good Sam's Rally coming up in August.
Yes, every year the Vermont State Good Sam puts on what they call a family rally. This year it's going to be on starting August 9th through the 13th, but you can stay over to Monday the 14th. That way there, if people want to go to New Hampshire, which is the following weekend, they can caravan over to New Hampshire. It's going to be at the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds in Essex Junction, Vermont. We did a lot of things different this year. We're trying to offer more than what we've done in the past. We're going to have all our usual stuff that we normally do, the frying pan toss, the Chinese auction, and all the usual stuff. This year, because of where we changed our venue, excuse me, we have a couple what I call opportunities. There's a large indoor flea market at the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds that weekend too. That's free to anybody that wants to go to, and is a benefit to help out a organization called Kids Safe. So I think that's a great draw.
Could you tell them
right
the
there.
dates of it, so that way,
Yeah, again, it starts August 9th through the 13th. You're talking about the flea market is just on Friday and Saturday,
yeah.
which would be the 11th and 12th.
And is there any, if anybody's got any questions, can they either email you or call you?
They can email me, they can call me at 802-343-4953. Love to get as many people as we can to come out and go there. We are having live entertainment on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And you're also looking for vendors, I understand.
We are always looking for vendors. Right now we got a good group of vendors already committed to come. We got 3 RV dealers that are going to bring some RVs down there to show off and hopefully sell 1 or 2 of them. We got Vermont Flannel coming down to do a display. We have Dogs for the Deaf, which is another charitable organization that's big to Good Sam. coming down to do a demonstration with their dogs, as well as give out some information on that. The other thing we're going to do is the Northeast Regional Good Sams have all band together and started a charitable organization called Halo's Wish. And what that is, it's more like a miracle network where we raise money throughout the year to send some needy child. Last year we had somebody that wanted to swim with dolphins, and we made enough money to send her to Florida to swim with dolphins. And we're going to do that again this year at all our chapters, all our state rallies throughout the Northeast, which is a great thing. And we're going to have a benefit at our rally for that as well.
And I better get to Jim before he falls asleep, because he's been quiet over there.
The only one thing I just want to plug is we've always been in Tunbridge Fairgrounds before, where if anybody's ever been, you always had to share your electric and water. We are going to have dedicated 30-amp power as well as water for everybody that's attended. So you can run your air conditioners throughout the whole rally. And we are in an air-conditioned building this year.
Oh, that's good.
So anybody that went last year when it was 98 will appreciate that.
And on to Jim. Any closing comments, or things we didn't cover?
I think we've done a pretty thorough job, but like we've been, one of the reasons why we were interested in being here is to let people know who we are and what we do. I think there's probably a lot of people out there that just don't know that there are organizations such as ours out there, where if you feel like you want to learn how to camp or you want to go camping, but you don't want to do it by yourself, or you don't know how to get started, to let people know that we're here to help. More than happy to take any calls or any emails, talk with people, invite them to come to our campouts. We look forward to bringing as many people into the organization as we can. And like we said earlier on, it doesn't matter the size of your rig. You can be a tenter. You can have a 45, 50 footer. It doesn't matter. We welcome everybody, and you're welcome to come have a good time with us.
Sometime in the future, I want to do an educational show on, whether it's a roll-up tent camper, or whether it's the motor coaches, or whether it's the fifth wheels or tag behind. I also want to do a show on bloopers, because I got one.
I think probably all of us have at least one or two bloopers that we could probably share that would probably we'd want to hang our head when you're showing it. But it's all a part of learning the camping experience, and that's one of the other good things about our organization, is that we all laugh at each other, but when you really need the help, when you can't figure something out, we're always there to help you.
Yeah.
Well, 90% of the time you'll hear the phrase, "I've done that."
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I want to thank you gentlemen for coming up, and maybe come September, when everything starts to cool down, we can do another show and say all the experience that we had this summer camping out in Vermont.
Well, thank you for
Sounds like a
inviting us
great
and
idea.
having us here.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate
Yes,
it.
thank you for having us, and look forward to next time.
And to the viewers, I hope you enjoyed this, Camping in Vermont show, and I will have them back in the future and talk about the summer and how successful and the bloopers that can happen while you're camping. I can remember one time I was putting up a tent in the middle of a rainstorm. I got wet. So, in closing, thank you very much, and have a nice day and have a nice summer.